What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and I apologize last time I ran out of steam, but listen, I'm re-energized, I'm ready to go, so let's get into these Sunday games. Now, the first game that we have is going to be Sunday afternoon. It's going to be at 3 p.m. It's going to be on ABC. We're going to be in San Antonio. We're going to be at the Alamo Dome. That's right, professional football is going to be back in that city, and the Brahmas are going to be taking on the St Louis BattleHawks in this one. Now, in this one, the BattleHawks are giving up 2.5 points to the Brahmas, and the over-under is 38.5 points. This one is going to be a slugfest. It might even get a little ugly. It might even be a snooze fest for a little bit of it. But it'll be a close game, and it will be one that we'll need to pay attention to. Now, to break down this game, let's look at the keys to the game for each one of the teams. Let's start off with the BattleHawks. Now, this Anthony Becht team needs to not get cutesy on offense. He's an offensive guy, and he's got Bruce Gradkowski with him, and I think that they're both good, great, offensive-minded guys, but I'm worried that they're going to get too cutesy in the style of offense that they're going to run, and that it's going to hurt them, meaning that you only need a yard. It's 3rd and 1. You run the ball down their throat. That's what you do. You don't try to do something cute where you get a guy open and then your quarterback misses him by a mile, and now you're punting the ball when you could have just ran it right up the gut. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. And here too, AJ McCarron is their guy. He's the guy that it seems to be the guy that they wanted since day one. That's why Ryan Willis pretty much has left. You can kind of tell that they saw that, they see this NFL thing. And the other thing is they're all worried about this hybrid West Coast offense that's ran by the Rams and, the Packers and all this and that. I think that sometimes you can do too much and hurt yourself. And in this situation, don't get too cutesy with it. Don't get too fancy. Just do what you need to do to get the job done. And that's what they need to do on offense. Now, the second thing that they need to do is they need to be disruptive on defense. I think that if they can come at this Brahmas team and really kind of shake things up for this offense and kind of this is a brand new team. So if they can come in and be disruptive on defense, I think that that's going to bode well for them in this game. I can see that the defenses are going to be the ones that are going to, at least I think, dictate what's going on in this game. So if they can go ahead and dictate it from their point, I think that that's going to bode well for them. I think that that's going to do well because I in this game, I know that there are guys out there that, are thinking that they're going to be, and this could quite possibly be one of the better teams, and they definitely could contend for the championship. The things that I'm starting to see out of this team is I'm kind of getting a little bit more worried, especially about the offense. So this defense needs to kind of take control and be disruptive on D, and that's the second thing. And the third thing is going to tie in with this whole thing of why I'm getting a little bit worried about this team. A quote from Anthony Becht, and I kind of want to say it because it does have me worried. So one of the things that he says is, I want all my players to move on to the next level, and I want to have a whole new team next year. That's kind of the goal. I get it that, everybody's trying to play to be back in the NFL, but one of the struggles, and I'm going to go off on a rant here, so I'm just going to let you know, is the fact that you can't play to be, to go somewhere else. Play to win the game. That's the whole point of why we're playing these games, is to win. We're not, yes, everybody else wants to move on to the next level. They want to go to the next place. But if you play and are selfish and viewing it as going to the NFL, you're not going to take things to that next level. You're not going to do that next thing that you need to do. And so much focus, it seems to be, is on the NFL. Are we doing it like the NFL? Does it look like an NFL team? Is this... Who cares? Just win the ball game. Do what you need to do to win the ball game. PJ Walker, why he turned into a star and got an opportunity in the NFL, was it because he ran everything like an NFL team? No, he was innovative. He was a star. He showed that he had ability. And he he ran the offense like he needed to win the games, and he got his opportunity. Jordan Ta'amu has gotten opportunities because he played to win the game when he was the quarterback for the BattleHawks the first time around. So that's why, and I'm not sold on the AJ McCarron thing, and part of it is I see Matt McGloin in the back of my head, and the whole offensive, the whole NFL experience, and he's got a lot of experience, and then it translates to me watching him yell at guys on the sidelines because they're not doing what they should in this scheme and this thing, and I just don't want it to turn into that. I know I've got, I get flashbacks from it, and I just that's where my mind goes every time I keep hearing all of this NFL stuff about AJ McCarron and his abilities and that with it. I just go there, and so it's got me worried about this team. So there's my little rant for the day, but they need to play to win the game and not play to get to the next level. It just frustrates me. You're here. Do your best job here. Don't have your mind somewhere else. And when your mind's somewhere else, you can't win here. That's pretty much all I'm saying. And the other thing is that I know when I'm on a team and when I'm running a team, I want players that are here. I don't want them looking off somewhere else or trying to be somewhere else. So off of my soapbox, let's move on to the Brahmas. And really here, Jack Cohn needs to be a star, period. For this team to work, he needs to be, he just needs to be a leader. He doesn't necessarily need to be that star guy that with a whole lot of, yards, this and that with it. He just needs to lead this team efficiently and be the leader on the offense. He needs to step up, especially because he's a younger guy, an unproven guy, and this team needs a leader, and I think that he can be a leader for this squad, for Hines Ward's team. I really, really do. And two here, with the experience that they have at the coordinator's position, whereas, Anthony Becht is kind of like all new up and comers, whereas Hines Ward, it's kind of got, you've got a little bit more, with coordinators and coaches behind them, you've got a little bit more of experience there. So if Jack Cohn can really take that, I think that, with Jaquez Patrick and just the whole slew of talent that they have there, if he can really be a leader and distribute that ball, I think that they're going to be fine. This defense needs to be disciplined. Like I said, the other offense is going to try to do things to be cutesy. They're going to try things, to be fancy and try to catch the defense off guard. This defense needs to be disciplined, and they need to listen to their coaches and use the experience to their advantage that the defensive coordinator has in his abilities to run defenses. If they can stay home and do that, it's going to bode well for them in this game, and they'll shut down that offense. And the third thing is they need to finish drives. Remember that this offense is pretty much the 2020 Vipers 2.0. And I think that really when you look at this really needs to be, I think Jack Cohn can be Aaron Murray, what Aaron Murray was supposed to be for the Vipers, and I think that he can dish this ball out, and I think that they can do well. If you remember, the Vipers were the best offense in 2020. The problem was they couldn't finish a drive. So if they can finish drives here, I think that this team could shock a lot of people, and I think that Jack Cohn, I keep calling him Jake, and I apologize, but Cohn can really, I think that he can lead this team to the playoffs, and just being honest with you. In this game, how do I look this game going to be? This game's going to be, it's going to be a slugfest. At times it's going to be ugly. And in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and I would take the points. I think the Brahmas are going to win straight up. I think that this is going to be a nice win for them at home. I think they're going to feed off of that crowd. They're going to be psyched by it, and it's going to be fun. It'll be a 22-15 score, and I would also go with the under on this game. That's just kind of how I'm seeing it. And yeah, I apologize for the rant, but listen, sometimes you just got to do it, and that's how I see game one. And moving on to game 2. If you're going to watch one of the 2 games on Sunday, this is the game you want to watch. It's going to be the nightcap. It's going to end everything off nicely and leave a nice taste in our mouth. It's going to be the dessert. It's going to be the cherry on top of a great weekend of football. So we're going to be going out to DC. That's right, the home of the Beer Snake. We're going to be back in Audi Field, and the Defenders are going to be playing against the Dragons. I'm not call them Sea Dragons, whatever. I'm calling them the Dragons. Seattle's going to be coming into this game, and they're going to be getting 2 points. So the Defenders are giving up 2 points, and the over-under on this one's 37.5. This game is going to be on ESPN. And this is just going to be a fun barn burner type of a game. It's going to be a back and forth game, and they're going to have some electrifying plays that are going to amaze us with the talent that these guys have. Now, to break each one of these teams down and give you my keys, let's go ahead and go to the Dragons. Listen, they need to let this ball fly. This is June Jones, and June Jones needs to be at his best, and I think he will, especially just focusing on the offense here. And I think that Ben DiNucci is going to be the quarterback that everybody thinks AJ McCarron is going to be. I think he's going to be the guy with the NFL experience. Now, who knows? I could just be a homer here. I could just be a Cowboys fan and a glutton for punishment, with the one start that he had for that Cowboys team. I don't know, but for some reason, I just see star power here, and especially in this offense. This offense, he can be a star, flinging that ball around. Yes, I think he'll probably have some interceptions here and there, but I think he'll make up with it with the big plays that are going to happen out of this offense. So they just need to let that ball fly, and I think that this is going to be a fun offense to watch. I think that they've got some pieces there. I think Knox is a great piece. I think Gordon is a guy obviously everybody's going to talk about, and I think that they'll still be talking about him after this game. And I think that we're going to have a couple other guys on this roster that are going to emerge and that we're going to be talking about too in that wide receiver core. Now, moving on to the next thing that I have, which is number 2, that the defense needs to keep coming after this Defenders offense. Normally, I would say, you need to be smart. No, they need to pin their ears back, and they need to come at them, and they need to be as disruptive as possible. Excuse me. In taking it to this team, they need to create more opportunities for their offense. Every takeaway they can get is just another opportunity to score and to keep piling on top of, this Defenders team. And I think that they could be really disruptive and cause some havoc in that offense, confusion and things. I'm a little shaky with the Defenders offense. Let's just put it at that for right now. But I think that if they can get a couple takeaways here, I think that that'll bode well for this high-powered offense and getting them the ball back so they can just continue to score. And the third thing they need to do is just not hold back and be stars. Really, that's just it. And I think Ben DiNucci is going to be a guy we're going to be talking about come Monday. And I think that it's going to be fun just talking about how he stood out, how some of these other guys on this team stood out, and how this Dragons team is really good. Because Homer alert, sorry, I think that this Dragons team is going to be a fun one to watch, and I think that they're going to do well. Now, moving on to the Defenders. Now, when I look at this Defenders team, they need to stick with a quarterback. They're going to have some bumps. They're going to have some bruises. This thing is it's not going to completely just flow out of the box. And I think that they need to stick with the quarterback, and it needs to be Te'amu. There's going to be some growing pains here with this offense, and they need to just get through them, and they need to stick with him. Now, the wheels could fall off this thing. Who knows? But this Barlow, his staff, they need to stick with it here, especially since on the offensive side of things aren't as solidified as what they are on the defense. And I think that this is kind of more of a newer kind of offensive staff to kind of guys newer in their roles to where they need to give time for this offense to develop, and I think Te'amu will be fine. I just it might take a bit for them to click. On defense, they need to be smart. I'm not looking at this defense as this one needs to be go, 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 like the Dragons. I don't think their offense can keep up with that. I think that Barlow talks about being an aggressive 4-3 defense, and that's totally fine with me. But they need to be smart in that aggressive defense and understand what the offense against them is trying to do. They're trying to push that ball. They're trying to score as fast as they can. And in that case, then they need to be smart about that and understand and not put themselves in bad situations. Now, the third thing I think is that their offense just needs to not hold back. You know that you're going to have problems, you're going to have issues, and things aren't going to always work out. Well, how do you fix that? Well, you take shots. You take shots. You get those big plays. You try to develop those big plays. It's not always going to happen, but you don't, throw the baby out with the bathwater. What do? You keep working, you keep trying at it, you keep doing, you stick with your quarterback, and you take some shots. They will eventually start to fall. You'll eventually start to figure things out, and guys will start to mesh. I just don't think that it's going to be this game. So this is going to be a shootout. It's going to be a barn burner. I think you're going to see a lot of electrifying plays from both teams here. Here's the thing, though. I think that the Dragons are built to win a shootout, and I feel like that's what it's going to be. I think that the Dragons are going to do just enough to pretty much outlast the defenders, and the defenders aren't going to have as much firepower in this one, to where I'm actually going to take the Dragons to win. So I would take the points in this situation. The Dragons win in an electrifying, fun game. It's going to be a 29-20 matchup, and I'm definitely going with the over in this one. If you're wanting the sure bet, I would go with the over. Listen, guys, these games this weekend, we're going to be talking about it on Monday. And yes, we're going to have all of the guys who are going to be ragging on the league. We'll get to that when that comes, but it's going to be a great weekend of football. Football will be back. It's going to be one of those things where we're going to talk about how good these games were and how enjoyable they were to watch and how fun they were. This is going to be exciting football, and you just don't want to miss it. So, schedule, record it, whatever you need to do, schedule your time out so that you can sit down and watch these games. It's going to be fun. It's going to be worth it, and we'll talk about them later. As always, I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know, and we'll continue the conversation on down there. Listen, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.